Welcome to the deep dive. We sift through the sources, find those key nuggets, and help you get well informed without, all the noise.
Exactly.
Cutting through it.
Today, our focus is a small but incredibly complex nation in Eastern Europe, Moldova.
Mm-hmm.
It's tiny on the map, maybe, but it's a massive cultural crossroads.
Yeah,
Really fascinating human diversity there.
it really is.
Which brings us to our big question for this deep dive. What is it that makes Moldova's people look so, well, different, so varied?
It's a great question, and you're right. It goes way beyond just appearances, doesn't it?
Hmm.
We're really going to explore how centuries of history, all tangled together, have literally shaped this living tapestry of physical traits.
A living tapestry, I like that.
Think of this as your shortcut, to really getting a handle on a unique corner of Europe. Often overlooked, but its story is, well, it's written right on people's faces.
Absolutely. And we're going to get specific. We'll talk about eye color, height, skin tone, hair texture.
All those visible markers. Exactly. And then, maybe more importantly, we'll unpack the history, the genetics behind it all. How did this remarkable blend happen?
Yeah.
Get ready for some, I think, genuinely surprising facts. It's a journey into identity, really backed by the research you brought to the table.
Should be fascinating.
Okay, so let's unpack this. First step, let's ground ourselves. Moldova's geography. Picture it. Kind of squeezed between Romania to the west and massive Ukraine to the east.
Right. That position is key.
It looks small, yeah.
Yeah.
But walk through Chiina, the capital, maybe on a busy afternoon. You see it immediately.
You do.
You see faces with that sort of Mediterranean warmth, but then also right alongside, that sharpness you might associate more with Slavic heritage.
And sometimes in the same family, which is really striking.
Exactly. Within the same family. How does that happen? How did this place become such a melting pot?
Well, it's really the core of Moldova's story, isn't it? The sources we looked at keep calling it a bridge, not a border. A permeable bridge.
A bridge, okay.
For ages, this land was right on the edge of the Roman Empire. A kind of gateway where cultures met, sometimes clashed, definitely blended.
Right.
Then later, it fell under Slavic influence, then Ottoman, then Russian empires. Big shifts.
Huge shifts.
And you can't forget the nomadic steppe tribes either. They swept through, leaving their genetic mark too.
Wow, okay, so constant movement.
Constant, multi-directional flow of really diverse groups. That's the bedrock for understanding the range of looks you see today. It's like this ongoing genetic conversation.
A conversation that never really stopped.
I see.
And you really can see it. So when we talk about this diversity, this human tapestry, what's the first physical trait that really jumps out? The one that tells a clear story?
Oh, definitely the eyes. The eyes of Moldova, you could call them.
Okay.
If you just picture that diversity, the research shows a real hybrid heritage in eye color. Around 50 to 55% have brown eyes. That's dominant, especially in the south and central areas.
Okay, brown dominant. But what about lighter eyes? You often think of blue eyes in Eastern Europe.
Right? Exactly. And here's where the blend is so clear. A big chunk, like 25 to 30%, have blue or gray eyes.
Oh, that high.
Yeah. And these are more common up north, which lines up perfectly with stronger Slavic ancestry there.
Makes sense.
But wait, there's another layer. Another 15 to 20% have hazel or green eyes.
Hazel or green, too.
Especially in areas closer to Romania and the Carpathians.
So it's not just blue versus brown.
Not at all. This mix in eye color isn't random. It's like a living map of who came through, who settled those green and hazel eyes. They often connect back to older Celtic and Dacian roots, maybe from the Carpathian area.
Wow.
While the blue eyes are strongly linked to those big Slavic migrations in the medieval period, it's history right there in their eyes.
That's incredible. A history lesson just by looking. It makes you think.
Okay.
How does this visible difference play out? And it's not just eyes, right? You mentioned skin tone, too. That places Moldova somewhere in the middle for Eastern Europe.
Absolutely. You hit on a key point there. Skin tone tells another part of the story. The studies show about 60% have light or fair skin, pretty similar to their neighbors in Romania.
Okay, a majority fair.
But then, about 30% have olive or slightly darker undertones.
Olive tones. Where does that come from?
That's more common in the south. It's a pretty clear echo of the Ottoman times. Balkan connections, think trade routes, sunnier climates, different populations mixing.
Right, the Ottoman influence.
And then there's another 10% or so who have a medium or even sort of tan skin tone, even without much sun. That seems linked to Turkic groups, nomadic steppe heritage.
So 3 distinct groups, roughly.
You can see it playing out right in front of you.
Mm.
Imagine, like a student with fair skin, light hair, blue eyes,
Yeah.
sitting next to a classmate with warm olive skin and dark curly hair, both totally Moldovan.
Yeah.
It just hammers home that idea of Moldova as a bridge, a meeting place, not some kind of dividing line.
A living bridge. I love that image. And speaking of visuals, hair must tell a similar story, right? Color, texture, another piece of this crossroads identity.
Absolutely does. Hair color stats are pretty interesting. About 60% have dark brown to black hair. Pretty standard for the broader region, maybe.
Okay.
Then another 30% are in the lighter brown or chestnut range, often quite warm tones.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like with eye color, about 7 to 8% have blonde hair. Again, mostly up north, pointing to that Slavic connection.
Consistent pattern there.
And here's a little surprise. Red hair. Not common, maybe 2 to 3%, but it pops up. That's often linked to really old Celtic or Carpathian ancestry traces.
Red hair. Wow. Okay, didn't expect that in Moldova. And texture, is it mostly straight hair or does that vary too?
Oh, it varies. Definitely confirming the mix. Around 65% have straight hair.
Okay, majority straight.
But 25% have wavy hair, and a noticeable 10% have curly hair.
Curly too.
Yep, and those curlier types. More frequent down south, again, think Mediterranean, Balkan influences, maybe Roman settlers, Ottoman traders way back.
Right.
Well, the straighter hair is more dominant up north, fitting those Slavic genetic patterns we talked about.
So the whole spectrum, really. Straight, wavy, curly, dark, light, even red.
Exactly. The gene pool just expresses itself in all these different ways across the country.
So we've got this vivid picture now. Eyes, skin, hair, all telling parts of Moldova's story. But what about something really basic like height, stature? How does that fit in? You'd think with all these inputs, they might be outliers.
It's funny you say that because the data, there was a demographic study in 2019. It found the average Moldovan man is about 175 centimeters. That's 5'9". Women average 162 centimeters, so 5'4".
Okay, 5'9", 5'4". Where does that put them?
Right smack in the European middle ground. They're a bit shorter than Northern Europeans generally, but taller than populations further south, like in the Balkans.
Huh. So average, right in the middle. Why is that? Is it just genetics averaging out or?
It's a mix, definitely. Genetics sets the potential, right?
Yeah.
But environment, especially nutrition over generations, is huge. Yeah. Traditional rural diets in Moldova. Lots of polenta, cheese, pork. Good staple foods sustain people well, but maybe not always maximizing that height potential compared to, say, protein-rich diets elsewhere.
Right, okay.
But this is changing. Urbanization, more modern, varied diets. You can actually see it. Younger Moldovans are getting taller than their parents, generally speaking.
So society changing is actually changing their physical stature slowly.
It's a slow shift, but yeah, shows how dynamic these things are.
Okay, we've looked at stats, general patterns. Now let's zoom in. Facial features. This feels like where the history might be really subtly written. The meeting of worlds, you called it.
You really do see it there. Anthropological studies talk about this blend of sort of classic Slavic and Mediterranean types.
Okay, how so?
Well, up north, you tend to see narrower noses more often, maybe higher cheekbones, lighter, more angular profiles.
Sharper features.
Yeah, kind of. Then as you go south, you might notice rounder faces more frequently, maybe fuller lips, stronger jawlines. That seems to reflect the Balkan and Ottoman contact more strongly.
Interesting. So north-south difference there, too.
Definitely. But the layers go even deeper. Think Roman times, leading a sort of Mediterranean softness in some features. Then Slavic influence, adding that sharper angularity. And get this, even the Mongol invasions back in the 13th century might have left traces. Some researchers suggest slightly broader features in certain families could even echo that far back.
Wow. Mongol influence, too. That's incredible. Each face like a history book.
Pretty much. A very nuanced historical document.
It's like digging through layers on people's faces. Okay, let's bring in the hard science now. Genetics. The crossroads of empires written in their DNA, right?
Exactly. And recent genetic studies, like from 2017, really pull it all together.
Yeah.
They show Moldovans share about 60% of their ancestry with Romanians. That makes sense. Dacian roots, Roman roots, shared history.
60% Romanian shared. Okay. What else?
A big chunk, 20-25%, is Slavic markers, mostly Ukrainian and Russian links, especially strong in the north and east.
Right, the Slavic connection we keep seeing.
And then another 10-15% connects them to Balkan and Turkic populations. That's the Ottoman legacy, the steppe nomads we mentioned. It's all in the mix.
So Romanian base, strong Slavic layer, plus Balkan Turkic elements.
That's the recipe, basically.
Hmm.
And it perfectly explains the sheer range of looks.
Yeah.
Think about it. You can have a blonde, blue-eyed Moldovan from Balai up north,
Right.
holding the exact same passport as a dark-haired, olive-skinned Moldovan from Comrade down south.
Both equally Moldovan.
Undeniably. Shaped by the same overlapping empires, the same complex history, their genes tell that national story.
With all this diversity, it's probably no surprise there's this debate. Is there a typical Moldovan look? That must be a sensitive topic.
Oh, it absolutely is. And it's a debate that happens everywhere. Kitchen tables, online forums, even academic papers and politics.
Really? What are the main sides?
Well, the sources point to two main camps, broadly speaking. One side argues Moldovans look essentially Romanian. They focus on the shared language, the culture, that deep Dacian ancestry you mentioned. They see a fundamental similarity.
Okay, the Romanian connection view.
Then the other side really emphasizes the visible Slavic and Turkic influences. They'd say, no, Moldovans are clearly more mixed. And that's why you see such a broad range of appearances, maybe broader than in Romania.
More mixed.
And you see this play out online all the time. Someone posts a photo of a fair Moldovan, and comments say, looks Romanian. Post one with darker features, comments say, looks Balkan or Slavic.
So people are quick to categorize based on appearance, but it sounds like it's about more than just looks. It ties into identity.
You've nailed it. That's the crucial point. This isn't just about faces. It plugs right into these bigger ongoing questions about Moldova's national identity itself.
Like, who are we? Are
Yeah.
we closer to Romania, closer to Russia, or something else entirely?
Exactly. Are we leaning west, leaning east, or forging our own unique Moldovan path? These debates about appearance are often proxies for those deeper questions. And they matter. They can influence politics, culture, even just how people relate to each other day to day.
Wow, so appearance is really tangled up in national self-definition there.
Deeply. It shows how much history lives in the present in a place like Moldova. It's complex, still evolving, no easy answers.
That's a really important insight. Okay, to help us all visualize this better, let's try some sensory glimpses. Paint us a picture.
Okay, imagine. You're in Chino's Central Market. It's buzzing. You see this tall guy, striking blue eyes, fair skin. Maybe his ancestors came with those Slavic waves centuries ago, and he's selling honey.
Mm-hmm.
Right next to him, a woman, maybe a bit shorter, warm olive skin, rich chestnut hair, her family history, might trace back through Ottoman trade routes, and she's bargaining over vegetables.
Okay, I can see it.
And nearby, kids are running around, some blonde, some dark-haired. They're laughing, chasing each other, all chattering away in the same Moldovan accent, completely unaware of the history written on their faces.
That really captures the blend, the everydayness of it.
Or picture a village wedding. Big celebration, music, food, smells amazing.
Yeah.
On the dance floor, you see cousins with those sharper, maybe Slavic-looking features, twirling around with relatives who have softer, rounder, more Mediterranean faces.
Dancing together.
Yeah. Laughing together, sharing the same traditions, the same music. It's such a powerful reminder that Moldova isn't just one look. It's many faces, many histories, all part of one identity woven together.
Those scenes make it so real. And behind the genetics, the history, there's this human side, this emotional thread, pride and mixture. How people feel about this diversity must have changed over time, too.
Oh, massively. And this is really significant. Appearance in Moldova has often been, frankly, politicized, used to push one identity narrative or another.
How so?
Well, during the Soviet period, the authorities tended to emphasize Slavic features. The Russian language connection, as symbols of belonging to the wider Soviet world. Other influences were kind of downplayed.
Right, pushing the Slavic link.
Then, after independence in '91, the pendulum swung. Suddenly, Romanian-like features, the Latin language roots, were highlighted. This was about connecting to Romania, to the West, emphasizing a different heritage.
So faces almost became political symbols. That must have been confusing.
Hugely confusing for individuals, like which part of my heritage am I supposed to identify with this decade?
Yeah.
But here's what's really interesting now, based on what we're seeing socially. Younger generations, they seem to be increasingly celebrating the diversity itself.
Embracing the mix.
Exactly. Moving beyond those externally imposed boxes. They're embracing the idea that, hey, we're not fully Romanian, not fully Slavic, we're uniquely both, and more. They see the mixture not as confusion, but as strength, as what makes Moldova, Moldova.
That's a huge shift. Pride in the mixture itself.
It is. It's this emotional journey from being defined from the outside to finding pride in their own unique blend. It really mirrors Moldova's whole journey of self-discovery in the 21st century. Unity and diversity made real.
Okay, so let's bring it all together. Our core message from this deep dive. Moldova, built at Europe's frontier, and its people literally embody that layered history. Their diversity isn't weird, it's the point.
Precisely. So why do Moldovans look so different? Because they carry those blue eyes from Slavic settlers centuries ago. They have the olive skin from Mediterranean and Balkan traders, maybe sturdy builds from steppe nomads.
All this threads.
Yeah. Their height, hair, faces, it all reflects centuries of living between mountains and plains, sometimes isolated, sometimes intensely connected. They don't just have a crossroads history. They are the crossroads history.
Not defined by one origin, but by all of them woven together.
That's it, exactly. Many threads, one tapestry.
So what does this mean for you, listening? Well, next time you meet someone from Moldova, maybe you're lucky enough to visit Chirino or Comrat, or maybe you meet someone abroad, just take a moment, notice the details.
Mm-hmm.
The hazel eyes, maybe? The chestnut hair? That mix of fair and olive skin? Look beyond just the surface impression.
And maybe ask yourself this question. Perhaps Moldovans don't look so different in spite of their history. Maybe they look so different because of it.
A really powerful thought to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Moldova's incredible tapestry of heritage and appearance. Hope you feel a bit more well-informed and maybe a lot more curious.